Hey guys, how's it going? And thanks for coming. I'm Nick, and this is Real Life Money, where we talk about real life and money, because you know schools aren't, so let's get started. So it's 2018, guys. We made it, and maybe you're looking to get a new car this year. Maybe you're looking to buy a new car. Maybe you're trying to lease your next one. Maybe you're getting out of the lease that you're in now. That's actually what I'm in the process of, which is kind of why I made this video. But nonetheless, the big question is, should you be buying or leasing your next car? So I'm going to keep it super simple and easy for you guys. I'm going to have minimal math, probably no math, just concepts to actually understand. So let's get into it. Cars are depreciating assets. So the car's value decreases over time. That's a problem. It's kind of a money pit. Now I'm seeing lots and lots of new cars on the roads, guys, and most likely a lot of them are leases. Now the average car payment for right now, said by multiple sources, that the average car payment's around $500 a month. And it's usually a 3-year lease, and then if you renew it, you keep doing that 3 years, kind of forever. So it kind of seems like a lot of people are doing this leasing, and kind of a theory that I've come to realize is that if a bunch of people are doing it, I should probably do the opposite. Now, leasing is technically not a loan. So when you're doing all those paperwork at the dealership, they actually don't have to disclose the actual interest rate to you. Now, these interest rates kind of incurred through the leasing process are normally a higher interest rate than a normal loan that you would get if you bought the car and financed it. Now, a lot of dealers probably state that leases are better, and they probably are better for them financially or for the company or whatever, because they're actually getting a better deal and kind of screwing you. Now, depending how you look at it, of course, there are some good things about it, and there are sometimes bad things. So let's go into those. Now, leases could be considered good if you do get new cars very often. Like we said before, the average lease duration is around 3 years. So if you get a new car every 3 years, then it would be better to lease your car because it would be cheaper that way. Now, on the opposite hand, you could see that it's sometimes bad because it's kind of like renting an apartment. You're putting all this money into it, whether it's rent or whether it's a lease. And when at the end of that cycle, what do you have? Basically nothing. It's not like at the end of those payments you could go out and sell it to see what you could get for it, because it's not yours. It goes straight back to the dealership. Now, yes, every time you get a new vehicle after those 3 years, you get another one, and it is newer, it is safer, and you have all the warranties, and everything is like top notch. However, if looking at car loans, let's say if you lease it and you finally pay it off, or if you just pay it out all in cash, then you have no car payments at all. You don't owe anyone anything. Now, like we said before, the average car payment is $500. So if you don't have a car payment, guess what? You're actually pocketing that $500 every month. So you could either save that, you could invest it to grow even wealthier, but that's a huge amount that you could actually use for whatever you need it to be used for. And at the end, you do own the car, so if you do want to sell it, you're actually able to get something from that. Obviously, yeah, it's going to be less than what you bought it because it did depreciate, but you will have something at the end. Now, like I said, keeping it simple, guys, and this is a pretty good thing for me to see that alone, just saving a car payment every single month, is worth buying a car, or not a new car, but a used car. And because eventually you will have no car payments for the long term. If you keep the car for a long time, then you could actually save on those car payments. Now, for me personally, I'll tell you guys what's going on with my lease, is that you are able to buy it out at the end of the lease if you choose to. So I actually looked at that value, how much it would have to cost me to actually buy it versus how much it is actually worth. So if you look it up on, let's say, Kelley Blue Books, and I saw that the buyout is a few grand more than what it's actually worth. So it would be kind of idiotic to buy the lease for a certain amount when you could just buy a separate car when it's cheaper. Again, this is for the long term. If you want to hold this car for longer than 3 years, like 5, 10, or even more years, then it is definitely worth buying it. Now, the idea of leases, guys, like getting a new car every single 3 years, I feel like that's like keeping up with the Joneses. You need the newest and best car every so often. Just like everything else, basically. If a new phone comes out, we get it. You want a bigger house, we go and get it. Who are you trying to impress? Hear me out. You technically do not need a new car every single 3 years. It could last longer than 3 years. Here's the thing, guys. The cars last longer than marriages these days. You could keep it a bit longer. And if you're trying to look rich or trying to look fancy by driving a BMW, most likely you're probably not. When I see someone driving a Beamer, I think of what they're paying in car payments, and they're probably struggling to keep up with it, and that's my opinion. I don't think or see them as rich. I mean, society might, but in reality, when you look at the numbers, now, of course, that's not for everyone. However, I do remember working at a bank, guys, and I see, people pulling up in Escalades and fancy cars, and you would think that they would have boatloads of money in stacks, but they struggle to keep $100 in their account. So it's kind of a lie. Now, I do have another video going into a little bit more detail of leasing a car versus buying a car and looking at specific factors. So if you're interested, I'll leave a link in the description for you guys to check out. However, I just think the simple fact of when you finally pay it off, if either you pay off your loan or if you pay it in cash and you save that car payment every single month, I feel like that just offsets any type of financial expenditures for the future and just hold on to the car. At the end of the day, it does boil down to what you really want. It's your choice. These are just kind of some ideas to think about. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, please leave them down below. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say, especially on this topic. I hear a lot of things on both sides. So let me know. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel, Real Life Money, where we talk about real life and money, because I feel and believe that we could get a hold of our money and stop following the man, guys. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.